But don't be alarmed, you can protect yourself. At any time you are conscious of a tingling sensation, you may obtain immediate relief by screaming. Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got, because the person in the seat right next to you will probably be screaming too. And remember this, a scream at the right time may save your life.
Unless you got business.
I don't bother you. I won't get away.
You gotta have a pass to come in here.
Oh. Well, let's do.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a relative.
It's my wife's brother.
Look, please try not to faint, huh?
Oh, I won't faint.
I can understand going to a friend's funeral.
We weren't friends exactly. See, I had a pass to the execution, and I mean. Oh. Does it always kill them in the chair?
Well, I've never heard of it failing.
Well, in the chair, does it hurt them?
Not if it's done properly, at least I don't think so.
Even a slight shot hurts.
Try putting an electrode soaked in saline solution on your head and another one strapped to your leg and then slamming 2,000 volts between them. If it hurts, let me know.
Well, if it works, then why this?
I've never found it to be necessary, but it happens to be the law. An autopsy must be performed immediately after the execution. Interesting. This man's vertebrae are cracked and nearly splintered in two.
2,000 volts?
Electricity had nothing to do with this. I've seen this phenomenon many times in people who were badly frightened just before they died. There's a force in all of us that science knows nothing about, the force of fear. That it's strong enough to shatter the spinal column, we know. But what it is, what causes it to appear and disappear, we don't know. Someday I hope to find out.
Maybe it's the force that makes your spine tingle when you're scared.
Exactly. Tingle? It can do a great deal more than that. You know, it's odd. I've been experimenting with this force for years. Never had a name for it until now. Now I think I'll call it the Tingler.
You do all the autopsies I have?
Most of them, and for the county, too. Ties in with my experimental work in fear. Many people die in fear. I wonder how many die of fear.
You mean being scared to death?
Not on the death certificate. Fear causes tremendous tensions in the body. If you can't relieve those tensions, why can't they become strong enough to kill you?
Never thought of it that way.
I've thought of little else for some years now. That man's vertebrae are cracked. Sensation of fear alone can't have done that. Something real and powerful broke those bones. Yep. And on the death certificate, I'll write down that death was caused by heart failure due to electrically induced shock.
Well, I guess he deserved it. Killing those two women in cold blood like that.
What?
Oh, yes, he killed these two women and lived right down the street from where I live. Looked for a while there, though. They couldn't even find a clue, but they did.
I seldom know who they are or what they did. I suppose because I don't want to know. You know, science is sometimes frighteningly impersonal.
Well, being my wife's brother.
Yeah. Well, you ready?
Yes. You wouldn't be able to give me a ride into town, would you, Doc?
Sure, I'd be glad to, Mr.
Oh, my name's Oliver Higgins. Everybody calls me just Ollie.
Where do you live?
Not just to make fun, either.
Yours?
Well, it belongs to my wife. We run it together, though. Would you like to have a beer or a cup of coffee?
Oh, coffee would be fine.
Good. Good. I live right up there. I'll check with the wife first. I'm going upstairs and make some coffee. So I'll open up later. Okay. Well, should we go, Doc? It's kind of old-fashioned, but she likes it this way. You like cream and sugar?
No, black, please. Just the two of you run the whole show?
Uh-huh. You'd be surprised how much work it takes, though. Just the cleaning up alone. Mopping, sweeping, vacuuming the seats and the runners. Once a week we go over everything. We even do the ceiling. We even do behind the screens and under the seats. I tell you, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
You know, you ought to come sometime, Doc. Some of these old silents are just as good as the movies they make nowadays. Even with the sound and the color and the screens a block wide.
I'd like to see some of the old Charlie Chapin films again.
Well, we show them once a year. I'll let you know. Oh, well, that's my wife. Never mind, she'll come in here. She has to wash her hands first. Martha. Martha, this is Dr. Warren Chapin.
How do you...
Oh, she says she just finished washing her hands. She's deaf and dumb. She can read lips, though, if you talk straight to her.
How do you do, Mrs. Higgins?
She says to excuse her, but she never shakes hands. People's hands have germs on them, she said.
Tell her she's so right.
She can't make a sound. She can't hear a sound.
No vocal cords.
No. She's a bug in this washing up. Our bill for towels is $5 a week. There you are, Doc.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a clumsy thing to do.
It's my fault.
Oh, no, it's nothing but a small cut. Go down and get the bag out of my car.
She always does this. One drop of blood, now she goes.
Well, it affects some people like that. Did you notice how rigid she became just before she fainted?
She always does.
It's interesting. Because she has no vocal cord, she can't release her fear tensions vocally as we can, so they continue to mount until at last she can't endure it.
So she faints?
Well, it isn't a faint as we know it. It's more of a psychosomatic escape.
I never thought of that. You go downstairs and open up. I'll come downstairs in a minute. It's time to open up the box office. We'd better go down first. She won't leave anybody alone with that safe of hers.
Well, thanks for asking me up, Ollie. I'm sorry I caused you all that trouble.
That's all right. No harm done. Thanks for the ride home and everything. I'm sorry about...
Goodbye, Mrs. Higgins, and I'm sorry I caused all that trouble.
Oh, she says goodbye and she hopes your cut isn't serious.
Oh, no, it isn't. Well, goodbye, Ollie. Bye, Mrs. Higgins.
Goodbye, Doc. Good luck with your experiment.
Thanks. Lizzie. Where's my devoted wife?
Where's David? Tell me something, Warren. What happened to all those rules I learned about what every young girl should do? Like, keep a date waiting for at least 10 minutes. And never let her know that she wonders if he's ever going to show at all.
It's all my fault.
I sometimes, like right now, wish he didn't work for you at all. That he was,
It was a Persian rug merchant.
Oh, that's much worse. Just an ordinary 8-to-5er with a yen for expenses.
And waste one of the best minds in pathology?
Not really. I love David just the way he is. I don't even want to change him. Golly, is that abnormal?
Refreshing.
Isabel went out about an hour ago, Mom.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it, Warren? She's simply ruining her life.
Well, it's all her fault, Lucy. A husband who spends all his time in the laboratory and hates cocktails and parties and falls asleep at the opera.
She's out almost every night now, Warren, and with men who aren't very nice. I'm ashamed of my sister.
Well, Lucy, as soon as David and I have finished this experiment we're on, well, I'll have more time for her. He'll have more for you. Things will be different.
Well, I'd wait for Dave forever if I have to. But why do I have to, Warren? Does being someone's guardian give you the right to rule them?
You've had another battle with Isabel.
Oh, no, the same one. I'm too young, David's too poor, and if I do anything she doesn't approve of, she won't give me my share of the money.
I'll talk to her.
And what good will that do?
Who knows?
Have you had any dinner?
Not yet.
Well, I'll fix you something.
No, look, I'm not really hungry.
Warren, you've got to eat.
Cut my head off. Boil me in oil.
Young man, what do you mean keeping this beautiful girl waiting?
You say go get a cat. You ever chase a cat down a back alley? I'm lucky to be alive.
Did you get one?
A big black brute. Trouble is, I don't think we can scare him.
Well, what are you two up to now? Black cats and dark alleys.
Fear has the same effect on all animals.
You mean I'm an animal?
Better looking than most and can't run as fast. I hope. Well, yeah, I got the prescription for you.
Oh, good. You know, from the articles I've read, this is a very interesting drug.
So is nitroglycerin.
Dave, where is that all for science attitude?
I left it in my other suit. Now, please don't fool with that stuff alone, Warren. It can produce pretty weird effects.
Hey, speaking of weird effects, I saw an interesting reaction this afternoon. There's this deaf mute. She can't utter a sound, and she has a blood trauma. I cut my hand on a broken saucer, and she went into total shock. I have never seen anyone so terrified or so unable to release her fear tensions.
What happened?
Well, her husband thinks she faints at the sight of blood, but it isn't a true faint at all. It's much more serious. Her unreleased tensions grow so great that she goes into psychosomatic blackout.
What if she didn't?
Hey, that's an interesting question.
Man, if we could get her in front of a fluoroscope and then show her some blood.
Please. We're going to dinner.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. All right, you kids get out of here.
We'll go if you stay out of the lab taxi.
Dave, you know, the further we go, the surer I am that what we're looking for is something tangible, real. Anything that can exert such tremendous pressure on the spinal column must be something you can see, touch, hold in your hand. It may exist for only a fraction of a second, but during that fraction, there's something inside every frightened person that's as solid as steel, and probably stronger. Oh, by the way, I think I found a name for it. The Tingler. You like it?
The Tingler? Why not? Since we don't know what it is yet, we can't give it a Latin name. The Tingler. It must cover almost the entire backbone.
The only way we're ever going to isolate it is to catch someone at the instant of complete terror. Not before, not after.
David, you'll be too weak.
Weak?
From starvation.
Well, have fun, and David...
I know. Don't keep David out too late because he has a hard day in the laboratory tomorrow. Good night, Warren.
Good night.
wish you wouldn't stand around in the dark.
Feet hurt?
As a matter of fact, they do.
Not from running. That was a charming little scene out there.
Yes, wasn't it? Good night.
Love in bloom right on the sidewalk. Rather sharp one, though, isn't it?
Don't tell me you've abandoned corpses for peeping out windows.
If there was anything honest about your behavior, I might feel differently, but there isn't. You're just playing the field and vice versa.
You know, I think I'll have a nightcap with amateur psychiatry. Jealousy doesn't look well on your tie, dear.
There's no jealousy involved.
You know, Warren, you've lost contact with living people. Nobody means anything to you anymore, unless they're dead. You can root around in them with your sharp little knives. There's a word for you.
There's several for you. Lucy is very upset, so is Dave, and for that matter, so am I.
Good. The only way Dave Morris will marry my sister is over my dead body.
Unconventional, but not impossible. They're nice kids. They're in love. They're old enough, and I think wise enough to make a go of marriage.
Nice kids, love. Dave Morris is another you, a scientist who thinks the world is in his laboratory. I'm not going to let my sister sacrifice herself the way I did.
You may have to.
What do you mean?
You've suggested a way.
I'm tired and I'm sleepy. Good night.
Stay awake a little longer. Who knows, the next time you sleep, it may be forever.
Is this the hour for melodrama?
Depends on your definition. Sit down, let's have a chat, hmm?
You have nothing to say that I want to hear.
Sit down anyway. Go on. Now you won't have so far to go. Now, I'd like to make two suggestions. First, leave Lucy and Dave alone. You're a shrewd and evil woman, Isabel, and adept at twisting people's minds. Leave them alone, please. Next, I'd like to suggest that you give Lucy half of all the money you've got. That way, Dave can continue in pathology without the obstacle of having no money.
You know, I know a wonderful psychiatrist with a perfectly divine straitjacket. Just your size. Are you forgetting anything?
Probably.
Probably is the understatement of the year. Now remember this. Everything you've got, I paid for. Your laboratory, all that expensive junk, Dave Morris's wages, your car, this house. And remember this. All I have to do to put you and Dave Morris right into the street is to turn the key.
On the goodie box? And where did the goodies come from?
My father.
Yes. Nice man, too. Pity he died so suddenly.
Nonsense. I had nothing to do with my father's death, and you know it.
Would you like me to prove it isn't nonsense?
You can't prove anything, because there's nothing to prove.
But you wouldn't like me to try, would you? And you should remember this, too, darling. Organic poisons are like old soldiers. They never die. They just lie smoldering in the grave. And I'm not bad at autopsies, either.
Crazy, you really are.
Isn't everyone? Now walk straight ahead. Go on.
What are you going to do?
First, we'll have a little chat, and what I do next is entirely up to you, so keep walking.
Where are you taking me?
It'll be easier to rearrange things in the laboratory. You should come in here more often, dear.
Let's stop all this childish behavior. Threatening me with a gun is so out of character.
Yes, isn't it? Over there, please.
Warren, stop it!
There!
You've gone completely out of your mind.
Not at all. You see, you're a good teacher, darling. You've taught me how to get what I want, no matter who gets hurt.
What do you mean by that?
Just this. Ever since you've been Lucy's guardian, you've been trying to ruin her life. Not only that, you've greedily kept what was rightfully hers. Now I'm going to give you a choice. Either you give Lucy half of all the money you've got and leave her alone, or you commit suicide right now.
Suicide? You mean murder?
When I finish rearranging things, it'll look like suicide. Now make up your mind. We want to be through with this before Lucy comes home.
I'm not giving that stupid child anything, so you can put away that silly pistol.
This silly pistol can make a hole in you the size of a medium grapefruit.
I'm going to call the police!
Isabel. It's just a blank cartridge. But thanks for helping with the experiment. You played your part excellently.
I see.
Sharing in your husband's work and all that, you know. Kitty? Kitty, 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 kitty. I was going to use this cat, but you made a much better subject. You two met? In the same alley, perhaps?
When my turn comes, and it will come, it won't be an experiment.
Howdy, boss. Come on, I've got something to show you. Wait a minute, I brought a dog. A dog? What for? You say get a cat, I got a cat. Remember? You say get a dog, I get a dog. We don't need him. I ain't for effort. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if in a fair fight that cat had whipped this dog. What do you want to show me? You've never seen anything like this, Dave. See anything unusual?
What's this?
You tell me.
I don't know, but whatever it is, it's stronger and denser than bone.
I'm showing you this series of negatives in reverse order on purpose.
Wow, look at that.
Wait.
The Tingler.
It must be. Of course, until we get a specimen of it, we can't be sure.
I can't see any bone structure. It must be some sort of solid matter.
That's what I thought.
How'd you get this picture? Who is it?
Doesn't matter how or who, Dave.
Isabel?
I said it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
That's right. Let's review our progress so far. What do we know about the Tingler? What do we think we know, and what do we got to find out? First, we know that it exists.
And if Roentgen rays can't penetrate it, then we know it's solid.
We know that fear alone energizes it, gives it strength.
And that's about all we know.
Except that the Tingler exists in every human being, and that it's extremely powerful.
Now, what do we think we know?
Well, first, that fear causes the Tingler to spread along the spinal column. And probably with those arm-like things between the vertebrae, forces it to become arched and rigid.
You believe that screaming or perhaps any sound the human in fear can make de-energizes it, paralyzes it.
Well, at least screaming seems to stop the Tingler from bending the spinal column. Screaming may even dissolve it, or if it's a living organism, kill it.
And these are things we have to find out. What do you think it's made of, Warren?
I don't know, but I guess sinews of some very powerful material.
You said living organism. Could the Tingler be actually alive? A separate and living thing inside our bodies?
Why not? You know, of course, that after what we call death, a great many things continue to live in the human body. Fingernails, for instance, continue to grow, so does hair, and the formation of calcium in the bones continues. Well, life is not merely a matter of breathing and a beating heart. We've come a long way, Dave.
And we got a long way to go.
Perhaps, and perhaps not. We now know that at the peak of terror, the Tingler is a solid mass extending from the coccyx to the cervicals. If someone could stand the intense pain without screaming or otherwise releasing their tension until they died, I think that an autopsy would give us a Tingler that we could work with.
Well, working for the advancement of human knowledge is fine, but dying for
Well,
it...
if that's your attitude, Dave, we'll just have to wait until we can find someone else who's willing to die for science. And eventually we will.
I'm worried, David. Isabel has been sweet to me all day.
Me too. At least she said good morning. Even smile.
So look out. The roof is going to fall in.
Hi.
Coffee, Warren?
No, thanks. You know, I've been thinking. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'd love a cup of coffee. Thank you.
So?
I've been trying to frighten myself, but nothing works. It isn't that I'm too intelligent, just too grown up. Kids can scare themselves by lying in the dark and making ghosts out of chairs, but we can't. The only way I can frighten myself is to make it real. Jump out of a window, get run over by a car, go out and drown.
After those x-rays, we know the Tingler exists. Why do you have to scare yourself, Warren?
Well, I want to personally sense the power of the Tingler in a genuine fear situation. In a controlled experiment with my own fear, perhaps I can find out all the things we have to know. Only nothing scares me.
Boo.
Exactly. Boo. Well, back to the salt mines. Why don't you take the night off? Go to a movie, you and Lucy.
I'll be in later.
No, I mean it. Take the night off.
Okay, boss, the night off.
Night.
This is not good.
He's leaving us out of something.
But there's nothing in the lab.
Dave, that drug you brought.
It's not a drug, it's an acid. I wonder.
Locked. Well, he never did that before. Can you see anything?
He's locking the other door.
What's he doing now?
He's saying something to the tape recorder.
Average injection 50 micromilligrams. 50. I'm making it 100 micromilligrams in solution.
What's happening now?
Lucy Warren wanted to do this. Let's hope he's accomplishing something important.
What's he doing now?
Time 8:03, sharp stinging sensation.
Now he's sitting down,
Is he all right?
as far as I can tell.
Definite blurring of vision now at 8:11. Emotionally, I feel nothing abnormal.
David, what does that stuff do to you?
Well, for one thing, nightmares. You're wide awake, but you're having nightmares.
Blurring vision has been replaced by distinct rocking and tilting sensation. I don't seem to be tilting, but the room is, from side to side. Time 8:13. Emotionally, I begin to feel somewhat apprehensive. Probably normal, however. It's closing in on me.
He's talking again. I wish I could hear.
Is he all right?
Something is scaring him.
Room is closing in. You gotta make it stop. The walls. The walls. The walls. The walls. The walls.
Can we help him?
No, we can't, Lucy.
Break the door, break the lock. He may be suffering, David. That could be hurting him.
He's only suffering in his mind. Nothing is hurting him.
He hurt his mind.
Lucy, there's nothing we can do to help him now. The effect of that acid must wear off naturally. If I try to stop it or even minimize it with an antidote, I might kill him.
No air. I can't breathe. Window. It won't open. It's locked. Barred. Somebody's gonna help me. Somebody's gonna help me.
We gotta get in there. Isn't there another key?
I'll go look.
Scream. Scream. I broke down and screamed, didn't I? I couldn't help it, Dave. Things were pretty foggy, but I remember thinking that I mustn't scream. But the pain and the fear were so great. I don't think anybody could keep from screaming if they were really terrified. Unless
Unless what?
It's an idle idea. Well, I better be on my way. Good night, kid.
Unless what, Dave?
Suppose a person cannot possibly scream.
Well, everybody can scream.
A deaf mute can't scream.
Evening, Doc.
Evening, Ollie.
Come to see the show?
No, thanks, Ollie. Not tonight. I just dropped by to see how you were doing.
Pretty good. How's your experiment coming along?
It's making progress. As a matter of fact, Ollie, I dropped by because I was a little worried about your wife. A shot like that can have pretty bad after effects, you know.
You know, I've been worried about it, too. She hasn't eaten hardly a thing. She can't sleep. Ever since she saw that blood. Just roams around in the theater all night.
Is she here now?
Well, she's upstairs. She won't even attend the box office anymore.
Well, why don't I just run up and have a look at her? Maybe just a simple case of nerves.
Would you? I'd appreciate it.
What drugstore do you use?
Oh, the cut rate around the corner.
Good evening, Mrs. Higgins. Ollie told me to come up. He said you were... Ollie told me to come up and see you. He said you weren't feeling well. Would you like me to check you over? All you need is sleep and rest. Now, I'm going to give you a shot to relax you. And then I'm going to give Ollie a prescription for some barbiturates. Sleeping pills. They won't hurt you. All right? All you need is rest and sleep. How much? Oh, well, what do you say about a couple of passes for your theater? Now, you just go to sleep, and you'll be as fit as a fiddle.
How is she?
But it's just nerves. I gave her a shot to relax her. She should wake up. Give her these pills, huh?
Yeah. How long does she sleep?
Now? Oh, the shot should wear off in 2 or 3 hours. If she should wake up, have her take these pills. She needs a lot of sleep.
Yeah. I'll go get this filled. I have time to have a bid on it, Doc.
Sure.
Will you join me? With her sick, I certainly need one.
Oh, I'd like to very much, Ollie, but I have some work to finish.
Thanks, Doc. Good night.
Good night.
home so soon.
Did you hear what the little husband said to the big wife?
Is this another one of your oblique jokes?
He said, why does the back door slam every time I come in the front door?
Because he was a jealous little husband?
Nothing like a good two-fisted drinker, eh?
Are you sure I didn't mix them for you, dear? You look tired.
It's a pity I'm not the type for gold tie clips.
Huh, but you are, Warren. Exactly.
Doc, my wife. I'm sorry, I know it's late, but my wife.
All right, Ollie, now take it easy. What's the trouble?
She's sick, maybe dead by now. It's terrible.
I'll get my bag.
No, I brought her here because you treated her. You gave her that shot. I tried to phone you.
Well, let's bring her around to the lab door.
Just a couple of beers, and when I got home, there she was. You suppose... Well, it couldn't have been that shot you gave her, could it, Doc?
Hardly.
I found her lying on the bathroom floor. At first she was so cold, I thought she was dead, but then when I picked her up, she moved.
Ollie, your wife is dead. I'm very sorry.
Well, I guess I wasn't much of a husband to her now. There's no way I can make up for it.
Ollie, I'm really sorry. Do you feel like helping me with some details?
I feel okay. What do you want to know?
Tell me as closely as you can what time you found her and the circumstances.
Well, it must have been about 1 o'clock, Doc, because, you know, when you left, I went to have a beer, and then when I came home, I just went in, and there she was, lying on the bathroom floor.
Age?
She's 46.
Was there any sign of a struggle?
No, there was nothing. She was just lying on the bathroom floor.
There wasn't anything unusual about the room at all?
No, just the way it always is.
From her expression, something must have terrified her just before she died. You haven't any idea what it was?
No, everything was locked. There was no sign of anyone having been there. My God, she's alive.
She's not alive, Ollie. Something frightened her to death. She's been dead for over an hour.
She moved.
Yes. May I find out why?
Sure, Doc, sure. Anything you want.
Ollie, why don't you just sit over there?
The Tingler.
Oh, Ollie, give me that glass tank.
The detective.
That
strong is it, Doc?
Strong enough to kill a man easily and quickly.
What made you let go?
My screaming, I think.
Must have been.
Your wife is...
She's dead.
Oh. Are you badly hurt, Warren? Good night. I'm sorry about your wife. Is there anything I can do for your arm, dear?
Thank you. Thank you, Ollie. We'd better call a funeral parlor.
Oh, no, Doc, not in the middle of the night. Couldn't I just take her home and call in the morning?
Well, it's easier that way, Ollie. They'll just
It
come.
might take quite a long while. It's so late and all. You'd have to wait up. No, I'd rather take it myself, Doc.
All right. Can you manage?
I can manage.
Ollie, you better notify the police right away, too.
I will.
Has he gone?
Yes.
This is very important to you, isn't it, Warren?
Yes, very.
Worked so long to find it. Let's celebrate, shall we? Let's celebrate finding the Tingler. And me.
You?
Yes, I've been a bad and foolish wife, Warren. All this time I've been jealous of your work. How silly can you get? Scotch?
Oh, yes, I think so. Thanks.
Here you are.
I'd rather have the other glass, darling.
Why?
More booze.
They're both exactly the same. Warren, you're so amusing. And so trusting.
Thanks.
Here's to the Tingler and your new wife.
I hope the new wife doesn't turn out to be as dangerous as the Tingler.
One thing that's so nice about you, Warren, I can always count on you.
To do what?
The right thing.
Now, about this new wife.
Oh, no. First about the Tingler. Is it really so dangerous?
You know, I felt as though my arm were in one of those hydraulic presses. Tremendous power.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Well, probably for my old wife. Hello?
Hello, that you, Doc? This is Ollie. I just called to let you know that everything's all right.
Oh, Ollie, you really didn't have to bother.
I left her. She's at the funeral home. And I called the police. They said, let it go alone. Doc.
Doc.
affects it. You can't destroy the thing.
You know, Warren, doctors are going to be amazed when they see the Tingler.
You're not going to see it.
Aren't you taking it to the convention?
Nope.
Well, we write about the Tingler in the journals, and if you can't...
There's not going to be anything in the journals about the Tingler.
After all these years, all this work, what are you going to do?
David, to break the laws of nature is always a dangerous thing. We've not only broken laws, we've violated some basic principles. We had to, but now we're going to stop.
But Warren, you can't just...
Hear me out, Dave. The Tingler exists in every human being we now know. Look at that Tingler, Dave. It's an ugly and dangerous thing. Ugly because it's the creation of man's fear, which is ugly too. Dangerous because a frightened man is dangerous. We can't destroy it because we've removed it from its natural place.
Then what can we do?
Call Ollie. Ask him the name of the funeral parlor where he left his wife. We can only hope and try. Fear made that Tingler grow from microscopic size to this. We can only hope when it goes back where it came from, it will also go back to a thing infinitely small, even die, because its creator is dead, all fear gone.
Ollie doesn't answer.
Well, then call the police or the coroner. They'll know.
Warren, Isabel's gone.
Isabel is always gone.
No, Warren.
Give me the police
I think
phone.
she's left. She's taken her clothes and some things.
No, that's not a reason death.
Well, I can only hope she'll be happier, Lucy.
The police have no report of her death, neither has the coroner.
But they must have. Ollie, call me. I wonder. David, call Ollie again. Call him until he answers, and when he does, tell him not to do anything foolish. And I'll try to help him. Frightened to death with this. And this. Now, where is she? What did you do with her?
Well,
You're lying.
You don't know how it was with her, Doc. She would have killed me if she could have. She tried to lots of times. You don't know how it was.
I know exactly how it was,
What are you going to do, Doc?
First, I'm going to put the Tingler back where it came from, so that if it can die, it will. Then I'm going to call the police. Ollie, it broke out of the box. What's that?
It's just a loose board. I didn't need to fix it.
What's below this?
The theater.
The theater. Ollie, dear, the Tingler is in the theater.
I warned the audience.
No, you'd start a panic. We've got to be quiet and careful. But we've got to find it. gentlemen, there's no cause for alarm. A young lady has fainted. She is being attended to by a doctor and is quite all right. So please remain seated. The movie will begin again right away. I repeat, there is no cause for alarm. Here.
No, it's further down. Why can't we see it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not panic, but scream. Scream for your lives. The Tingler is loose in this theater, and if you don't scream, it may kill you. Scream. Scream. Keep screaming. Scream for your lives. It's here. It's over here.
Look out, it's under the seat!
Ladies and
Look out, it's under
gentlemen,
the seat!
the Tingler has been paralyzed by your screaming. There is no more danger. We will now resume the showing of the movie. The projection booth, quick. You all right?
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
Right there.
You must have screamed just in time.
I guess so.
All right, Ollie, no more stalling. Don't open that film can until I tell you. And then you'll have to help me.
I'm sorry now I did what I did, though. You gave me the idea.
Ollie, just because poison happens to exist is no excuse to commit murder with it.
Oh, I'm not blaming you, but you see, I knew she couldn't scream about the Tingler and all.
All right, give me the Tingler now. Come on, Ollie, give it to me.
It isn't as though I pulled out a pistol and shot her and taken a knife and stabbed her, is it, Doc?
If you kill anybody deliberately, it's murder. No matter how you do it.
Well, I guess they'll probably electrocute me, won't they, Doc?
I'm neither judge nor jury. This time, you're going to the police with me.
You're wrong, Doc. You're going by yourself.
Ollie, look, all I have to do is go downstairs and call the police. It won't do you any good. Bye.